My YouTube never recovered. I went from having 1,000 views a day. Now I don't get more than 50. We need to support our local environment with respect to development, with respect to putting legislation in place that will make South African SMMEs thrive. So now when you need to send documents to investors, instead of sending them documents, you can send them a chatbot.
Hello and welcome back to the Vambo AI in Africa podcast. I'm Chido, co-founder and CEO of Vambo AI. Today we're having an amazing conversation with Bertha Kgokong, and she is, I think she's so many things, but one of the things I admire her for the most is that she is actually building actionable AI solutions on the continent. So please stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe, and make sure that you listen to this conversation from start to finish because there'll be so much that you have to gain. Bertha, welcome to our podcast. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm great. Good. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. You know, we've been following each other's work for a while now, and I think it's so great that now people can actually hear what you're doing from, start to finish.
Yes, of course.
So I think I want us to start really with the beginning. You studied chemical engineering. You worked before getting into AI. Can you just talk us through that a little bit about, what has been driving you to succeed and to always strive for more?
I mean, that's a long question, right? How much time do you have?
Go.
So I studied chemical engineering, started working around 2004. So I worked as a process engineer for many years. I went through the ranks of engineering, of course, management, project management, and so forth. But at some point, it hit me that I needed to do something different with my life. I figured the path that I was taking was not what was making me happy. I wasn't content with pretty much where I was going. I felt like it was now or never. I'm either going to take this leap now or I'll never do it. And I was just driven by just the need to leave a mark and do something that people will know and remember Bertha for, that this was something that was done by Bertha. I was here, I left a mark, I took up space, I made a difference, and things are a certain way in the world today because Bertha was there. I think that was one of the things that was pushing me from the back, to be honest. And so it was a challenge, but yeah, that's pretty much like the drive behind it, wanting to leave a mark and do something that you'll be remembered for as a person.
Yeah. Yes. So yours was a career pivot, like full career pivot. You'd been working in corporate and then now you decided to do your own thing.
Yes.
For someone who is in corporate right now, and perhaps it's not AI specific, but they just want to pivot and do something new, upskill themselves, what would you say are the indicators that they need to be looking at before they make that jump?
Well, I think it's different for everybody. It's a combination of things. Passion, what is it you like, what you're passionate about, but also some of the things people don't consider is what you're good at. It's one thing to be passionate, but are you really good at it? Can you make a living out of it? So I considered both of those. At the time, I was strong and I was good at engineering, but I knew that's not really where I wanted to go into. I didn't want to go and start another business in engineering. I wanted to do something different. So I actually took the time to think of options, what's available, what's out there, what could I do? I started on a blank canvas. I could have done anything from becoming a banker to a software dev. But what encouraged me was the technological sort of landscape and what was happening right there. At the time, blockchain was making waves and it was the big thing, it was a new thing and it was interesting. That was around 2017, 2013. So I actually started my business in the blockchain space at the time because I thought, well, in South Africa right now, there's opportunity. So I think it's a combination of what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and where there's opportunity. So I looked at there is opportunity in blockchain because currently at the time, there was just one Bitcoin exchange in South Africa. There was just Luno and that was it. You couldn't buy Bitcoin anywhere else. People were uninformed, they didn't know a lot about how it all works. And there was a whole lot of scams in the industry because of lack of information, misinformation around cryptocurrency. So I thought that's my opportunity, right? But of course, my timing was completely off because in 2017, that's when the big Bitcoin hit, slump that happened from like $10,000, I think, to less than 1,000. It was ridiculous. Like people lost monies and people were chasing after me. And I was like, no, it's not me, it's Bitcoin. But the timing was just not right. And I had to pivot into something else. And that's when I went into the software space.
Yeah. So I'm going to come back to that blockchain because I want us to talk about all the technologies that you've embraced. But what was your journey like then from upskilling? So what exactly did you do? Did you go on additional courses? Did you start developing software? What did that journey look like to get you to where you are today, where you are highly technical?
In my mind, in the back, I've always been, because I'm an engineer, so I've always understood the technical things.
Yeah.
You know, we do in H university, we did MATLAB,
Yes,
some
MATLAB.
very, high level stuff. But I've always been able to just understand technical things. I didn't initially want to become a developer. I was actually sort of pushed into it. So in the Bitcoin business, we wanted a mobile application. And we were asking around for quotations, and we got like, some ridiculous
Some
amounts.
crazy numbers, yeah.
Yes, and at the time as a startup, I was like, no, but we don't even have clients, so how are we going to
How am I going
spend
to pay for this? Yeah.
anything on this? So how it actually started was with a question like, how hard can it be to just do it yourself? So of course, how hard can it be to do it yourself? There is tools. What I like about software dev and programming is it's probably the one career where you can learn everything online.
Definitely.
You can't learn engineering
There's so
online.
many resources out there.
You can't learn banking and finance online,
Yeah.
reliably so. You can't learn, there's many careers that you can't learn online, but software dev is probably one of the only ones you can go from 0 to 100% completely in your room.
Yeah.
With just an internet connection.
No, I concur.
Yes. So it was a journey of building this mobile application. That was the target. Let's build this mobile application ourselves. I have the time. I'm not going to pay like 200K to a dev to build this thing right now. I don't have the money.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. So obviously, initially, I thought I could just learn on YouTube, but obviously YouTube is very scattered. You can't really have consistent learning there.
Yes.
So I did some structured courses in places like Udacity and Udemy, where you have an entire module where you can learn the different elements. So you know what you're missing.
Yeah.
Unlike watching a video here and a video there on YouTube. So I did that and built stuff. And luckily with programming as well, it's probably also the only thing that you can build something and look at it.
Yes.
And you can see, no, the screen is not quite right, or this is not where I want it. And you can just go back to the code and fix it and then look at it again. Oh, that's better.
Yes.
So, obviously that as well. And we built a mobile app. But by the time we finished building the mobile app, that's when the pivot was, we were no longer doing Bitcoin, but we had the app. Actually, I still have the app on my old phone that I built it on. Then after that, I thought, well, I can build apps now. So
why not
maybe I can start charging people 200K for this. Yeah. That's actually how.
Now you're the one sending the quotations.
Yes, because that's the price, right? So let's see. Let's start charging people 200K for this stuff, and that's pretty much how the software dev thing started.
Okay, no, amazing.
Yeah.
So now, kind of coming into the South African market and its kind of reception to these technologies, blockchain, AI. What has the trajectory been like since 2013 when you started entering the space? So how long does it take for people in South Africa to adopt these technologies, either as technologies that they're building with or technologies that they're using and consuming?
So this is about adoption.
Yeah,
right.
Adoption.
I think it's different. Adoption is different depending on the tech and depending on the mainstream. With blockchain, for example, the adoption was very limited. A lot of the people we were talking to were very resistant. Even if you try to go to corporate with a blockchain solution, it was just like, no, we're not going to do that stuff. Because I think people didn't understand, because there wasn't a lot of mainstream adoption from reliable, known,
like the credibility.
Companies, yes. Like, for example, the Googles, the government, they were not adopting it. So blockchain was sort of like, it felt like, it's being done by one or two devs. Here, there's some Satoshi Nakamoto person. There wasn't any mainstream support for it. So I think a lot of the corporates and normal people were also, sort of like looking at it funny.
Yeah.
But when it comes to things like AI, for example, Google is doing it.
Everybody's doing it pretty much.
Meta is releasing it. Twitter is doing it. Elon Musk is doing it. Well, this can't be so bad if all these people that we know are doing it. So then that's how OpenAI just went like to 100 million users in like a few days, because, everybody's doing it. So the adoption was much, much smoother there.
I mean, I think what you're saying is also playing on the fact that it's a confidence thing, right?
Yes.
So who, again, is giving this technology credibility?
Yes.
How is it building confidence within the ecosystem?
Exactly.
And again, in South Africa, how does that happen? Is it because our own organizations, so our big banks, our telcos, they're adopting it? Or is it, again, like you're saying, people understanding how the technology works and how they can use it in their day-to-day lives?
I don't think there's any level of understanding happening there. I don't think there's any, like the average person on the street does not understand or does not care.
Yeah.
It's more the adoption, but it's not even the adoption locally.
Yeah.
I've seen it as, I think it's in South Africa specifically, and I don't know if it's an African or a South African problem. We sort of just trust if Google is doing it and Meta is doing it, then it's fine.
Okay, yeah.
I think even if it was a South African product before Meta and Google did it, I don't think there would have been adoption because people would be like, but who are you? We don't know you.
That's really
but
interesting.
when it's like Elon Musk is doing it, well, that must be okay.
Yeah.
Because now it was released by Elon Musk,
Yeah.
So that's, I think, what I'm observing.
So you as a builder, I really want to get into the products you've built.
Yeah.
MobileGPT, Skhokho, KaraboAI. Which one do you want to start with? I think...
Let's start with Skhokho.
Okay.
That's the first one.
So that's your business management software as a solution?
Yes.
And I like actually starting with this because it's focusing on the B2B market, right? And I think a lot of South African entrepreneurs, even African entrepreneurs, struggle to tap into that B2B space. So yeah, please talk us through what is the idea behind that, its trajectory and growth, the team that built it, was it solo built, and how it's going today.
So all our products are built internally, solo built by myself. If I get support, it's just on a support basis. Like, help me with that.
Like a UI.
But for the most part, it's I've built all the products internally. Wow. Skhokho, how it started was when we started with the dev business. We had a couple of dev clients building small things here and there, and then we had a lot of SMEs. Just because in the SME space, you're now exposed to SMEs and you get to know small businesses because you're in the ecosystem, you're in the accelerator programs together, So we had like some early SME clients that were like, can you, we need a CRM, but can you come help us with, And I would look at some of this big, bulky stuff like Salesforce. I don't see how a small business is ever going to try and implement something like that in their business, because number one is way too expensive and you don't even need it really. You probably just need a couple of contacts in a list. But currently the way the SMEs are doing it is business cards that are getting lost or an email. You want to search people to do the email or your phone book, like there's no formalized method of doing it. So we had somebody that wanted us to do the CRM for them. They just wanted to be able to store business cards in one place and be able to just organize that information if they need to call people or send them emails or whatever. Yeah. So we looked around for because I thought, oh no, there's no way I'm going to do a CRM. So we're just going to try and find the open source things we can just deploy it for them, because there's actually a couple you can find online where the stuff is built. It's just, you can just deploy it on your own, in your own server, whatever, and you can just have it enclosed in your system. So actually we started with that. And they used it for a while and it worked fine. But the problem the clients were having now was, but I need to change this a little bit. I don't like this button, or, sometimes the data would be lost because they would push updates, when you're using these deployed stuff, and then the things would change and they would break the system, so there was a lot of problems that we could not help the client solve using third-party stuff because it was not built by us. If they made changes that broke the system, there was one time the client lost all their CRM contacts because they pushed an update that cleaned up the database and everything, and I was like, no, let me just start. How hard can it be? Same question, with the mobile app, how hard can it be to do this? I mean, it's a couple of tables here and there and some UIs, and we actually built it initially Skhokho to be a CRM. Yeah. And then after we built it like that, then we just added some of the other functionalities over time, a little bit of accounting. Now you can do invoicing here. And we're not trying to be the biggest accounting software, but we're trying to get functionalities that SMEs use daily, invoicing, expenses, just in one place. And you can just do it there.
No, essentially you're trying to just solve a problem, right?
Yes.
The problem exists and you're trying to solve it
Yes.
to the best of the satisfaction of your clients.
Exactly.
It's not about you and what you want to build, it's what
Yes.
they need.
It's what they need.
So for someone who's technical, who's also a developer or coder and is building great products like this, what type of advice would you give them to commercialize it? Because I think sometimes there's a bit of a mismatch there, that you're great at building products, but then taking it to market and making a sustainable business.
Yeah, taking it to market and making it sustainable is a challenge. It's a challenge for us as well. I'll be honest. It's a challenge for us. A lot of the products we've built, I wouldn't say they have reached, the market potential that I know they can
have.
With the CRM space, we struggled really with like marketing the product. If you think about marketing right now, the most common way of marketing is to buy a couple of ads on Google or on Facebook. But in the software space, the ads are so expensive, and I think the market pushes it that way. And I don't know if it's sustainable, that if I have to buy an advert, I have to pay a certain amount per click. That amount is so high that actually if I paid it, it's not even sustainable if I got one click.
Yes.
Because that one click
could not convert.
You need you need maybe 100 clicks. The stats are you need at least 100 visitors to convert 2 of them. So out of 100 people that visit your website, maybe 2. The 2% conversion is standard in the software. But like, if I'm going to pay 100 Rand per click, but I'm only going to convert 2 people, how many clicks are those and how much am I going to make from those 2 people? So a lot of the maths doesn't add up for startups.
It doesn't.
Yes. It adds up for the existing companies. They can afford to keep the cost per click up there. Actually, I feel like it's a barrier. It's kept up there so that the startups can come in. Because you can't advertise.
Yeah.
Then you have to now reach people one by one. So calls, hi, I've got a software here. You wanna try it out? And with B2B, you can't, it's you're making 1 or 2 sales at a time. But in the software space, you need volumes.
High value or volumes. Definitely.
Yes.
So I think we share a very similar background. I'm also from corporate, and our product is also B2B. And I'm finding, especially with our B2B product, that is really relationship based.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult to try and penetrate a new client or a new market when you don't know anyone or you've got no one to vouch for you. So, I find that we do a lot of networking. There's a lot of pre-work that you have to do. And I'm sure, when you look at B2C, your pre-work is priming the market, getting them to know that you exist, that you're credible. But in B2B, it's a lot of networking. It's a lot of showing up for things. It's a lot of even offering some features and functionalities for free for them to try it out. Even for us, sometimes what we do is we actually take the client's product, we add ours and look, this is what it would look like if you had us as part of your stack. But again, that's a lot more work to do, right? So yeah, B2B is definitely...
It's a bit harder. But I think
harder.
B2B also has levels, right? I think we are B2B, but we are B2B on almost a B2C, So we are B2B, but we're selling to businesses, but we're really selling to clients. Because our model is the amount of, for example, let me look at my services, right? Yeah. My services is purely B2B. I'm selling to a business client. I can take time building relationships. I can get time to explain to you what I'm going to do for you. I can even take 1 or 2 months to land a client, even 3 months runway, and land a client, because I know once I land a client and I get a contract to build a product, it's a big check and it's going to keep me going for a while.
Yes.
But with our Skhokho, for example, people are paying $20 a month, to use it. I can't spend 2 months landing a client for $20. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's B2B, but it's really B2C. And so that's why our approach is more on the advertising side, but on the services, because we also do services. Yes. Software dev, we do projects for clients, and that's where we actually, exactly what you're saying, I could just repeat it, but you've already said it. That is the most important thing, because once you do a good job with a client, then they remain, they stick, and then you make even more, and then they send more people, and then and then you get referrals in the industry, and then you build a reputation, and then you are known, and then you can be sustainable that way. So we've got a mixed batch of pretty much we do a little bit of got our fingers in all the pies. we try to.
But that's entrepreneurship, right? That's being a
Yes.
founder. You have to
Yes.
diversify,
Yes.
especially because, like you're saying, our customers are still learning about these technologies and what can work best for them. So
Yeah.
sometimes you may find a client who knows, I want to automate this, I want to do that. But the next client who may look exactly the same on paper is not yet ready for that journey.
Yes.
And you need to be able to accommodate them and what they need.
Yes.
Okay, so now KaraboAI, because I want to save MobileGPT for last.
Okay.
Tell us about that project.
Actually, it might be easier to start with mobile because it came second.
Oh, after
Because
Skhokho,
because
okay.
Karabo was actually born after.
Oh, after mobile.
Yeah, and actually we built it because of all the learnings of MobileGPT.
Okay, so then before we get into that,
Yes.
I really loved what you did with MobileGPT.
Okay.
I remember we were all in the Darkies in Tech group when kind of you were like sharing it and really being quite aggressive with telling us this is what I'm building. And it was at the early stages when the GPT's API came out and everyone was like, what do we do with this? Is it threatening us? And I feel like you really just took charge and you led us and you're like, look, I'm going to build something with this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to build something that is localized for our community.
Yes.
And I'm going to push it. And from what we saw, it was such a success. I think really it was a blueprint for how to actually build using Western technologies, but making something locally relevant.
Okay.
So I really, really admire that
Thank
journey.
you.
So yeah, please tell us more about MobileGPT.
So MobileGPT, honestly, very early. I think 2023. Just when ChatGPT
Just when it came out.
Just when it
you
came
were on
out.
it's like you were watching them. And
No,
you're
but
like
but when you're a software dev in this space, actually, I'm always watching everything.
You have to stay in the
I'm
know.
always watching everything. In fact, I've got a newsletter that comes in every morning that you subscribe
Which
to
newsletter
Medium.
Oh, okay.
I subscribe to Medium, and if you pick
Nice.
the right
right,
topics in Medium, every morning you will know what is the latest in the tech space.
Yes.
So
yes.
every morning it comes at around 20 past 7, and I'm like looking through it. I know now it's Agent AI that's like the hot topic, but like at the time, it was like coming. ChatGPT is coming, it's coming. The API is coming. So I really I had ideas of what I'm gonna do with it.
Yes.
So as soon as it hit, of course, we had that thing out in like a month and a half, because we wanted to be first,
And
be first.
I remember so well,
Yes.
you were shipping like nobody's business.
Yes, and we were like first. Actually, when we launched it on Product Hunt, there was no other similar product that existed, and that's globally.
Yeah.
And within a month or two, there was like 10 more, that looked like us, because obviously in Product Hunt, everybody will copy
Everyone
what
will
you're
see
doing.
exactly.
But we were the first. I can say that almost confidently. And it was interesting. I mean, people loved it. You go in there, you can chat to ChatGPT, but on WhatsApp.
Yes.
Because the challenge at the time, there wasn't even the mobile app. Because now the mobile app is there. But then it was just, you had to go to the web version of it, and you had to get a $20 subscription and those kind of things. And we tried to come in at $10 initially to make it cheaper and to make it that you can do it on WhatsApp, which was convenient because everybody has WhatsApp. And the initial takeoff was really good. Like we had a lot of people loving it and using it very quickly. We on-ramped, and it was we had we sort of went like this and then went like that. But initially, the takeoff was very good.
That's great. And I think it showed you that there is an appetite for these tools,
Yes.
right? And even if people don't really know what to use it for, how to prompt it correctly, just the fact that a solution exists, the option is there, was good enough for them to actually try it out.
Yes.
So what type of use cases were you seeing with MobileGPT? What were people actually asking?
Just
what were people
questions.
wanting to know?
The same questions you ask ChatGPT, help me with that. Help me with that. I asked ChatGPT everything up from,
I think we all do.
help me write this document to whatever. We were getting pretty much the same questions. We found a lot of students, school students in school asking actually school questions.
Yes.
So we got a lot of that as well. I think maybe those are the people that used it more, but mostly it was just normal things, like the typical questions you would ask ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And then we had the functionality for images, generating images. So now you can go to Stable Diffusion, or you can go to ChatGPT DALL-E to generate an image, but we incorporated those as well, which means we could do it in our one as well. So you could either just have a normal conversation, or you could ask it for an image. And then we also, because we are coding the stuff, we also added that you could ask it for a document. So if you wanted to like do a letter, instead of having it do a letter that you must copy and paste into a Word, we could like do all of that and you could just get sent a Word document.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that it went like this and then like this.
Yes.
What happened with that?
So yeah, there was a lot that happened. So the first problem that we hit very, very quickly was the cost of WhatsApp, which is something that people don't think around, especially when you build a WhatsApp product. WhatsApp charges you cent on a dollar per message. Yeah. But with in rands, I think it's about 50 cents in rands, 50 cents per message that gets sent out, which is okay if people are paying a subscription,
yeah,
right?
But if it's free.
But the problem was we had to offer a free trial, and there were a lot of people that were coming in to use it the first day, and that when you're having thousands of people was adding up.
Yeah.
I remember there was 1 month I looked at my bill within 10 days, I was over $1,000 and I was like, this is ridiculous. Then I was like, shut this thing down. We actually physically shut it down because of the cost, because we were getting a lot of people subscribing, but the conversion rate is not very high. So they use it, and then you get maybe a small percentage of them subscribing. Even if the percentage is like 5%, which is even above the industry norm, that 95% messages, you basically have to pay for responding to all those messages without, and this 5% cannot make up for that. So it became a problem initially. And especially when the conversions we found that some markets, because we released it globally. I mean, you have a WhatsApp, you can send a WhatsApp. We found that some markets were converting less than others. Then we tried to then limit. Like it was a lot of years, but we literally just like shut it down and like stopped it because the cost was becoming out of hand. That was the first problem. Yeah. The second one was we I don't know how to put this one. We have the cost that we have to pay for the WhatsApp, and the second one was the being banned in a lot of the online platforms. So our social media accounts, LinkedIn, Google, we're like getting banned. Like I woke up one day
on what grounds? Just it would flag something within their policies
that you've just been flagged. Like my Google was banned and whatever, and that affected a lot of the the things that we were trying to do. My personal LinkedIn was banned as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes, my YouTube hasn't recovered up to date from the ban that came from Google, because I think they're connected. It's like they know all your accounts, and for some reason then they just banned everything. And even my YouTube, now my views are still like from where it was before. It hasn't recovered from that ban, because even after I was able to, why are you banning me? They're like, no, because your MobileGPT product is a scam. And I said, what do you mean it's a scam? It's not, it's like, they couldn't explain what they meant. It's a scam, because I'm like, have you tried it? No, but how can you have ChatGPT on WhatsApp? It was things like that. Like, you're trying to tell people that they can do ChatGPT on WhatsApp, but ChatGPT is not on WhatsApp. I don't know whether it was lack of understanding or whether, this product can't be real, but like, honestly, like we got banned everywhere. Meta was the only one which didn't ban us. Luckily, our platform was on Meta, but they actually called us in for like a meeting for us to explain to them what is going on. And I was like, what's going on here? Because they also wanted to ban us. But eventually after the meeting, obviously they can see on the back end what's going on. And they're like, no, this is fine. And other people are doing this thing as well. And then they let us go. They were the only ones who didn't ban us. Facebook was the only one who didn't ban us.
Wow.
It was ridiculous at the time. So we struggled a bit with recovering after that was a challenge, because other people were building the same stuff and they were not getting banned. And I was just like, I couldn't understand what's going on here. Yeah.
And then kind of from there, were you able to build relationships with the country offices of those organizations, or did you just kind of let it go?
The thing is, it's hard to try and fix something you don't know why it's happening. Like even if you like contact the customer service and you try to talk to them, they can't tell you why. And a lot of the times it will be different cases. Like when we got banned from LinkedIn, they said it was because you're a scam. But when we got banned from Facebook, they said something else. And when it was Google said something different. They had different reasons.
So even if you're trying to fix it,
we were trying to fix
you're
it.
now like just trying to chase so many different.
Yeah, eventually we fixed the LinkedIn, because the LinkedIn was my personal LinkedIn as well, connected to my, because I had opened a LinkedIn page because it connected to your personal one.
Yeah.
Then they banned them both. Then I fixed that. But then and then the Facebook was never banned, but I fixed the Google.
Yeah.
But even the Google was never right. Like even now when I do Google ads, it's like something is not right with it. It's like I think they still have some sort of fix on my name or something like that. I don't know, because even my YouTube never recovered. I went from having 1,000 views a day. Now I don't get more than 50, even on new videos that have got nothing to do. It's like I don't know. It's like I'm grey listed or something. You know. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry about that, because that product was really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So where is it now? Would you be looking to rebuild it in a different way?
No, it's still there. People are still using it.
Yeah.
So it's still working. It's just that we went from like getting something like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 users a day to now we're getting just a couple of hundreds. But we've also limited a lot of the countries. Like we ourselves have blocked a lot of countries. Over time, we've seen some countries that are just not being productive. We've reduced a lot of the countries we're offering services to.
Yeah.
We only offer to countries which we know are better with conversions because of the cost issue.
Yes.
So we're still making, we're not making losses anymore.
Okay.
We're still getting a couple of hundred users daily.
Oh, good.
We're still getting a subscriber every other day. So we're still okay.
And do you have an exit strategy for MobileGPT?
No, we're just going to keep it
to continue building?
because people are using it. I thought when Meta released their Meta AI and then there was all the apps, I thought people were going to stop using it, but actually I was surprised. People are still using it. So there's no reason for me to change anything. Actually, the code that's running there is a lot of the code that has been running from the beginning. We just do the updates, with the versions of the API. But the majority of the underlying code is pretty much the same. Like, it's very robust. It just works. So if I keep up the updates, that stuff just works.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay. No, brilliant. And then now KaraboAI.
Then KaraboAI, we were doing, like you're saying, talking to clients and things like that, attending, events where you have to showcase your products and things like that. We were talking to people about MobileGPT. And a lot of the people we were talking to were like saying, but I want a WhatsApp chatbot, but not this one. I want to be able to use my products, like my company documents. Can I have a MobileGPT, but with my personalized use case? So maybe they want to do employee training and they want a chatbot for it, trained on their data. Or they want a customer support chatbot instead of the manual customer support where press this button, press 1, press 2, press 3. Yes. They want to have an intelligent one on WhatsApp, but not with ChatGPT data, but with our own trained data, so
like
it can do
use case.
Exactly. So we were getting a lot of that. We've actually built a couple of those ones for people manually, where we said, okay, fine, we can build it for you because we are devs, but the process is long and the price is high because the manual process means we must charge them for dev, for hours, for deployment, for many, many things. And the project cost goes up, and like some of the clients are like, that's a lot.
It's out of my range.
Yes. So what we thought was, can we take this MobileGPT idea and package it in such a way that people can build their own MobileGPTs in a way. People can build their own chatbots, use cases.
Their team takes the take and they do it on their
Not really their team. It's a platform. It's like chatbot as a service. I can literally log in now to KaraboAI, open an account, load my documents and my information, output a chatbot, which I can put on my website as a widget. But there's an option to then also link WhatsApp, your own WhatsApp number, and that same chatbot can be on WhatsApp.
Can then be on WhatsApp.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
So it's like chatbot as a service. As opposed to like me coming and doing chatbot dev. The only challenge is there's limited use cases. So it's RAG. It's just RAG. You're going to feed documents and you can talk to the documents. There is an appointment chatbot. You can make appointments. There is some chatbots with that help you, like a data room chatbot where you can load documents and you can talk to them, but you can also like use it for like, you can share that with with people who need to.
I'm actually gonna include that for my
Yes.
data room. Yeah, that's
Yes.
quite nice.
So now when you need to send
I like that use
documents to investors, instead of sending them
like a whole
documents,
link and
you can
everything,
send
just
them a chatbot. And they can talk to it, and it can also, so if in the chatbot, you can even ask it, how many documents are there? You say, oh no, I've got 7 documents, I've got a CV and this and that. Okay, can I just send me the CV? It can actually just like give the person the document.
The CV directly.
Yes.
They don't have to be like clicking around trying to find where
Yes,
the financials are or this.
yes.
I really like that use case.
Yes.
So yeah.
So we've got those.
That.
But I don't think the data room is on WhatsApp yet. But it's all definitely on the web.
On the web chatbot.
On the web, which means you can have it as, you can send it as a link, and the person can open up. It's a web page with a chatbot on it, and they can talk to it.
No, I like that.
It even like verifies, like it sends so you can even like when you do the data room bot, because some of the problems with data rooms is the link gets in the wrong hands and you don't know who saw your documents.
Exactly.
So with our one, you can actually, when you create the chatbot, you can set the email addresses of people that are allowed to use it.
Yes.
So every time someone activates the bot, it will say, please give me your email address. Yes. It will send them a verification code. They must put in the code to verify it's their email, then only it lets them in. Which means if somebody else shared that link, the chatbot will again say, give me your email. And if the email is not in the emails that you've given, it will say, no, you don't have access to this data room.
No, like that data room use case is everything that I need right now. So brilliant. Okay, so what are the plans with KaraboAI chatbot?
KaraboAI, we actually still, we've built it, but we haven't done extensive, we're still like trying to do proper beta testing on it. It works, for the most part, but we haven't stress tested a lot, we haven't like had, so we're actually trying to expand our dev team so that we can spend a little bit more time, stress testing and, the kind of like robustness that we need to build into the platform, that we can be confident with like letting it loose, But it's there. We got a lot of people actually on it, on the platform. We haven't had issues. We don't have any concerns with it. But it's still, I would call it, like that part of when you finish building a platform where you still just sort of letting it to only a few people to sort of work it, because you still want to pick up things and fix them, but we're still trying to build our dev team to come in and put it on more robust infrastructure in the back end, so that we know we can let it loose and it's 100%.
Wonderful. So you speak about your dev teams, either the one that already exists or the one that you're going to build. What does that look like? What does your dream team look like? Do you need data scientists, machine learning engineers, ML ops? Like,
we work mostly with just back-end developers.
Back-end, okay.
Back-end developers who develop in data science. Well, you don't need to know data science. You just need to know back-end development, because a lot of back-end development is data science in itself. Yeah. And specifically if you're a Python dev. So our back-end devs are Python, almost, a little bit of data science, but mostly back-end developers who understand back-end frameworks within Python.
Okay, wonderful. So I think I want to take our discussion to speak more about South Africa and the African continent. Where do you kind of see South Africa going over the next 5 to 10 years, especially in the field of artificial intelligence?
Where do I see it, or where would I like to see it? Where would I like to see it? Honestly, I'm very frustrated with South Africa in general, and what they're taking. And I'm frustrated with it on many, many levels. Industry, government, and the people. Yeah. But I think the guidance needs to start with government. Because I feel like our African governments are sort of like sitting back, wait and see approach. Let us see what is happening here. Even Kenya has already taken a stance and said, let us be market leaders in this. What is really stopping South Africa from doing that? It's really frustrating that as a government and as people, the lawmakers, we don't sit back and decide we are going to be strategic and we are going to be leaders in these industries. AI was a perfect opportunity because it was a new field of study that didn't have incumbents. You could have decided we're going to take a lead on this, and you could have just done it. Now the train is moving so fast that it's going to be a catch-up game already, trying to catch up with China, trying to catch up with France and the US in the AI game. So I feel like government is really sleeping on the job with respect to deciding strategically to take the charge and saying, we need to be leaders. We can't be consumers of everything all the time. Even things which we have expertise to do locally. This is my frustration also with our products that we build, because the systems are not designed to help us succeed as developers, as entrepreneurs in South Africa. You build a platform that is a software as a service, and I have to compete with all these Silicon Valley companies in my own country, where our users are not going to pick a new product. They're going to pick the Silicon Valley products, because the Silicon Valley products have got a built-in ecosystem to support each other. That is why they are Silicon Valley. We need to come in and say, we need to support our local environment with respect to development, with respect to putting legislation in place that will make South African SMMEs thrive in the industry, ring fence our sort of like ecosystem, so that at least we can sell to our own people. Even if we can't sell to everyone else, we can sell like what China does. They build their own products, WeChat and everything. And even if they don't sell it to the rest of the world, their own people are going to use it. Like, I don't understand what is stopping the government from just doing that. Just do that. Like, that is just, let us decide to do it and we do it. And then let us decide to say, now we're going to be leaders in AI development, for example. Let us at least be leaders, even if we can't be leaders in the world. Let us be leaders in Africa. Nobody said that until Kenya said it. People are just sort of sitting back and waiting to see what's going to happen. Let us at least be leaders in Africa. We have capabilities. We have devs. We have teams. We have people that can do it. All we need is some support system from a legislative point of view, from somebody who can say, okay, we will give you space to build stuff. Build us a government-backed chatbot that the government will use and will promote it and give it to free for everybody to use in the country. I mean, let's start there, for example.
Yes.
Build a chatbot for the health system, so that doctors can talk to it for patient records and things like that. Build it in our local language, so that people in the rural areas can understand it. Or incorporate voice as well, so that people that can't type can at least talk to it.
Yeah.
Like, we can already do so much in this space that we're just not doing.
And I think I love what you just ended with now. There are so many use cases, too many use cases to just wait for someone else to build it for us. Because even if they do build it, they're not building it
They're not building it for us.
They're not building it for our communities. They're not building it for our context. So, yeah, I agree with you. We definitely need more opportunities for local products to be built, to be taken to market, to be given a chance to succeed before we start saying, okay, we're just going to wait and adopt whatever's going to come from wherever it's going to come from. No, brilliant. Bertha, thank you so much. This was an amazing discussion.
Sure.
Before we end, I would just want one parting shot from you. You can address anyone. You address the nation, the continent, builders, founders, your younger self. You can really address anyone. But what would you like to leave with our viewers from today's podcast?
The third frustration I spoke about just now when I was asking the question with regards to when I was answering your question with when I was saying this government, this industry, and then I said this people. I think Africans have the power as well. If our government is not acting, we also have the power to say, buy local, buy support products, because there's many entrepreneurs out there. I know I sit in all these WhatsApp groups that are hustling day in and day out, but we don't have the legislative support. We don't have, we literally have to sit there and compete with Google and compete with, with Salesforce on a CRM. But like the person on the street also has a say, the end user. I can choose to say, you know what, I'm going to help our local businesses do better. So instead of buying Salesforce, I'm going to buy a local CRM. And instead of using ChatGPT, I'm going to use a local developed whatever. At least it can talk to me in my language. I'm going to do that. Like, I think we're also lacking quite a bit in the people being proud of our own products. And I can even go as far as saying, even if it's not perfect, because you'll get those questions, but your thing has got errors and it's not 100%, but just use it. Because this is the process of development is that we're going to see it and then we will fix it.
Yes.
Oh, I don't like this about it. Okay, then we will fix it. But that is the iterative process of development until we get it where we want to be. If you think of all these products that are out there today that are huge, that's where they all started.
Yeah.
Somebody built something and then it wasn't quite right, and people gave him feedback, and they improved on it, and they improved. It's years and years of improvement to where it is today. So when someone new comes in, we're always getting judged on the same level as a 20-year-old product. But I'm like, guys, this is a 5-year-old product. We need you guys to use it so that we can make it better, so that you can give us feedback and you can tell us, So use the products, even if they're not perfect. Reach out to the team and said, hey, you know what? I use this thing, and this page gave me this error. Even if I take a screenshot and send it to you, help them support and help them develop and make their products better, and continue using it and let them fix it the next time. And let's help our local teams also get to that level, because we will not get there if no one actually buys our stuff, because everybody wants to use Salesforce, I know I keep harping on Salesforce, but it's the perfect example of the corporates that we have to compete with as local software devs, Yes.
So basically, in summary, give local solutions a chance.
Give them a chance. Yeah. Give them a chance, even if they're not perfect. I've used products that were not perfect when I started using them. I don't want to mention names, but I've used products that were not perfect and that were locally created.
Yes.
That I would take screenshots and send it to the support and say,
Please fix this.
I entered my credit card and I didn't get my thing, things like that, and I would continue using it. I'm still using them today, and they look from where they started like 5 years ago to where they are today.
Yes.
I'm like, you just have to make that conscious decision and be intentional about saying, I'm going to use local products.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
definitely. No, thank you so much, Bertha.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this discussion. And for all of you who've been tuned in, please make sure to follow Bertha. We'll add her social media handles in the comment section below. But thank you so much for joining us again on the Vambo AI in Africa podcast. We've been here in South Africa with Bertha Kgokong, who's been sharing amazing stories about the solutions that she is actively building and taking to market. So please like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more conversations. We can't wait to see you next time.